Which family dramas have been most interesting to uncover for lawyers during divorce proceedings? Story 1. I, 32 years old male, am divorcing my wife, 33 years old female, after finding out that my son, 5M, is not mine. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I found out that my wife cheated on me 6 years ago. The way I found out is that her sister told me after going to visit her to find out how the delivery of her first child was. She confessed to me that 6 years ago my wife told her that she slept drunk with her best friend. In her words, my wife was very sorry. At the time she told me I was with my son, and immediately after leaving her house, I went to take a paternity test with him, fearing the worst. A week later I get the results and my fears came true. My son is not mine. For some reason I began to see the boy differently, more as an acquaintance than a son. With proofs in hand, I confronted my wife at night when the child was sleeping. She asked me who told me, and I simply told her that it is none of her business, although obviously it will not take long to connect the dots that it was her sister. Well, that is not my problem now. Regardless of that, I asked her for a divorce, which is now in process. She was devastated. She swore to me more than once that nothing happened with anyone again, that she has been faithful to me in body and soul. Since then, I held back the urge to insult her to avoid complications during the divorce issue, not believing a word she said, mostly blaming the alcohol instead of taking the blame herself. After talking about it, she threatened me saying that she would demand full custody of the child. I was so annoyed at that moment that I told her, okay, I don't want anything to do with something that is not mine, that she keep the child and I'll keep the dogs. We have 2 dogs that we adopted as puppies and they are currently 8 years old each. After my words, she tried to convince me to take care of the child with her, that I am his father. At that moment I exploded. I was so angry, and I had held back so much the urge to scream that I just yelled her to go and take her bastard with her. A week has passed since that, and I am at home. It is in my name because it is a gift from my parents. She went to her parents' house with her kid. She has not called me since then. She left with everything, and the half-asleep kid when I yelled at her. Especially since it was the first time I really yelled at her, it sure affected her. I talked to my parents, and my dad told me that I did the right thing, and that I shouldn't be raising something that is not of my blood, and I agree with him. However, the pain is still there. My younger brother told me to write here to entertain myself. I am currently seeing a therapist 3 times a week who told me that I have already taken the first step, which was to leave behind what causes me pain. It just hurts to know that my family no longer exists. Regarding why my sister-in-law told me everything, according to her, she felt guilty seeing me always happy with my son, knowing that he may not be mine, and that the fact that we went to visit her in a moment of weakness caused her to completely break down with guilt. I don't know how true that is. I just know that right now I feel tremendous hatred for my wife, and a feeling between pain and resentment for the child, although it's just time to get ahead. I just hope the divorce goes smoothly. We have separate financiers and properties, and if she really asks for child support, I have proof that it's not mine. According to my lawyer, that's more than enough, if she tries a legal process for that. My therapist also recommended that I not see him nor her, that regardless of the child's feelings, I should focus on my own first, that the child is no longer my problem, and the sooner I accept it, the better. Sorry for the misspellings. English is not my first language. Story 2. My wife wants a divorce. It's been 3 weeks since my wife told me she wants a divorce. I'm still reeling from it. I know I'm going to come across badly here. I stepped outside of my marriage, and it is no one else's fault but mine. I have no excuse for cheating on my wife. I work in the Crown Attorney's office. It's a busy and stressful job, and I cross the line with another attorney. The long hours and the stressful environment is something we both deal with, and I let my judgment lapse. She's married with children too, and neither of us have any excuse. I make no excuses for what I did. I watched my brother go through a divorce a few years ago, but I never thought I'd be here. I regret hurting my wife, and I don't blame her for leaving. 3 weeks ago, she told me she knew about the affair. The next day, she moved out. She had started doing Instacart and Uber Eats when I was at work. She saved up money. She's been taking free online classes through the Adult Education Center. She wants to start night school to get a degree. She went out and got a job. After she got the job, she found an apartment. We have an 18-month-old and a 3-year-old. After she got the job, she found a daycare for them. Truth be told, I was blindsided when she told me she was leaving. I don't know how she found out about the affair, but apparently she's known for almost a year. I had no idea she knew, or that she was getting things in order to leave me. She didn't act any different. She was still the same warm and bright person. She didn't change her behavior. She didn't act distant or cold. She was the same loving wife that she always was. I know I made a huge mistake with the affair. My wife didn't tell anyone else about my affair either. She only told people after she moved out. After my wife got a job, she told her sister she was leaving me but not why. Her sister co-signed for my wife's apartment. But even then, she didn't tell her sister any details until after she moved out. My wife said she kept everything to herself because she didn't want anyone to confront me or talk to me about until she had everything in order to leave. Even her sister only found out less than a month before my wife moved out, and even then it was only that my wife was leaving me and not why. I saw her sister a couple of times before my wife left, but just like my wife, she didn't give anything away. I'm still in shock that my wife didn't act any different or give away what she was doing. I never knew my wife could get a job or was talking online classes or planning to leave. My wife told my colleague's husband about the affair. I never really thought about what would happen if we were caught. I guess I thought my wife and I would try marriage counseling. I needed to get this out. I've already had enough of my life made public. I know I only have myself to blame. My wife will only talk to me about our kids. We have agreed to share time with them for now. Shared 50-50 custody is the norm where we live, and my wife says she won't contest that in the divorce. But she'll only talk to me about the kids, not about anything else. The house feels empty without her. It's strange and wrong. I know I was wrong, and I made the worst mistake of my life. I watched my brother go through a divorce, and I never thought I would too. It still feels strange to me. My wife had been living somewhere else for 3 weeks. My wife has had a job for 3 weeks. I'm going to be divorced. Everyone is angry at me for the affair, and I don't even blame them. You don't have to tell me I'm wrong, because I already know this is the biggest regret of my life. Top.
Comment. Seer. Comment. 1. I absolutely love the way she handled the situation. You lost a gem. Comment. 2. She figured if her husband could lie to her face and act like everything was fine while she was at home taking care of their kids and he was balls deep in a coworker, then she could lie to her husband's face while she got herself into a position to leave behind all the lies. She chose herself instead of you for once, while you were choosing yourself over her. Good for her. It's going to hurt you more when she finds a new husband who is actually worthy of her time and love. Comment. 3. Wow. I admire her strength. The fact she held it in for a whole year and got her own life sorted really shows her strong character. Comment. 4. Dude, I'm gonna pile on. You humiliated her, which is probably why she has said nothing to no one. It's not that she respects you, she doesn't. You broke her trust. You broke her heart. You broke her faith in all men. It's going to be another man who heals her now. And her not telling anyone is because she likely feels like a complete failure as a woman, and you made her feel that way. She knew for more than a year? She gave you lots of chances, at least 365 chances. You failed her every single day, every single chance. Do the decent thing. Don't fight her in the divorce. Give her everything she asks for. At least give her back that dignity. Update. My wife wants a divorce. May 1st, 2025, 9 days later. When I wrote my last post, I thought I was at rock bottom, but I wasn't even close. I thought the day my wife left me was the worst day of my life. Not even close. 2 days ago, I was formally served with divorce papers. That was the worst day of my life. That's the update. My wife is making it official now. I know my marriage ending is my fault. I don't know why I even cheated on my wife, who is the best woman I've ever met. I was selfish, and I don't care if anyone calls me names or anything because I already regret ruining my marriage more than anything. You aren't telling me what I already don't know and haven't called myself. Getting those papers was rock bottom. When I look at them, it is the worst regret I have ever felt. I didn't know my wife had a lawyer yet. I'm an attorney, but not in family law. I work in the Crown Attorney's office, and I thought I had more time because attorneys from law firms are expensive. Everyone is adamant that none of them are giving my wife money or any help. My wife said she wanted to be self-sufficient when she left, which was why she got a job first. She said she found a lawyer through a charity for people who are new to the workforce after I didn't expect to be served papers so soon, but she doesn't want to talk about this further, only about our kids. Every time I look at them now, it's like a hit to my gut. Even though it's been a month, I'm still not used to any of this. My wife is not living here. My wife has a job now. I don't get to see my kids every single day. I know everything is my fault, and I am the biggest idiot for ruining my marriage. I have the papers to prove it now. It's official now. I'm going to be divorced. Top comment. S. Comment. 1. Everyone is adamant that none of them are giving my wife money or any help. Does this mean that you're angry that someone is helping her because now she won't have to come back to you because she can't support herself? Because you've clearly tried to figure out who it is, I'm guessing so you can convince them to stop. That's really awful of you. Good for whoever is helping her. Comment. 2. Congratulations on getting what you wanted. I have no idea why you're sad or disappointed. That is what you wanted, right? For 365 plus days, you chose a woman who wasn't your wife, so I can only surmise that you didn't want to be married to your wife anymore. Don't worry, your affair partner will probably need a place to live soon, and you can just move her in with you, then you won't have to sneak around anymore. You're getting exactly what you wanted. Oh wait, you actually thought your wife would be okay with you having a side chick? You thought she would let you screw your affair partner and be excited that you were still coming home to her? Oh no, she has more self-respect than that. Either way, congratulations. I believe this is what they call the consequences of my own actions. Comment. 3. Not your business if someone is helping her. You certainly didn't help your marriage by stepping outside of it. Who she spends time with or receives help from is no longer your business.
Story 3. AITA for divorcing my husband? For being infertile? I, 29 years old female, have been with my husband, 29 years old male, for 6 years, married for 3. We both come from family-oriented backgrounds and have always wanted kids. We're financially stable and can provide a child an amazing life. We've officially started trying for a baby in early 2023. After months of nothing, I started to get worried. I wanted to get our fertility checked then, but he said I was being a worry rat and let's wait a year of trying before we get any testing. A year was in February, and I scheduled our testing then. The results shocked us. We were both ignorant and assumed I was the one with the issue if there was one. I mainly see women talking about being infertile, so it didn't cross our mind it could be something else. The doctor calls us in one of the worst days of our lives, tell us that my husband has a condition called azoospermia, meaning he has no sperm. In his case, they say that the surgery to extract directly from his testicle doesn't seem that it will yield high results, but it wouldn't hurt to try. My husband and I were devastated. I wanted us to explore all routes, him taking the medication and getting the surgery, and if that fails, either a sperm donor or adoption. I understand this is life-changing news, especially for my husband, but since February has refused to do anything about it. He said he doesn't want to take meds and get the surgery if it will be a waste like the doctor thinks. That using a sperm donor makes him feel emasculated, and he doesn't want to raise my child with another man's DNA, even if it's from a relative of his, and that adoption isn't something he's ever wanted. I have no one to talk to about this in real life since he doesn't want his diagnosis out there. It's been affecting me really bad mentally. There's nothing more I want than to be a mom. I've begged him to go to therapy, and he refuses, saying he accepts it. I'm the one that isn't. Every time I try to start a conversation, he shuts it down by saying that we will never have a child together. He will never be able to be a real dad, so to move on. I know what I want for myself. That's motherhood. I am willing to go down any avenue to motherhood, but he doesn't want to. I realized this past summer that he's right. We will never have a child together. I had one final conversation with him since he avoids the topic like the plague last night. I sat him down and said I empathize with him about this life-changing diagnosis and that he doesn't want to get the surgery, which I respect, or use a donor or adopt. But Dad, I want to be a mom and I'm not getting any younger. And if he isn't willing to explore any avenue or go to fertility therapy, then I want a divorce. He broke down saying he can't believe I would be willing to walk away from our marriage over this. That if the shoe was on the other foot, he would never leave me for being infertile. He says I'm a horrible person and that I'm punishing him for something he can't control. I told him it's not for being infertile, I can work with that, but it's because he's refusing to go down any route to become a parent knowing that's something we've both wanted. He says that I never loved him, otherwise I would never contemplate divorce over kids that don't exist yet. He cried about it afterwards and refused for me to console him. I feel so horrible, but what else can I do? Continue begging him to change his mind or speak to a professional? He only wants bio kids and refuses to do the surgery because it's too much prep. Daily vitamins, meds, no hot showers, etc. AITA? Relevant/top.
Comment. S. Comment. 1. Kids are sadly a deal breaker for most. I've walked away from many relationships because I don't want them and the other person does. In a way, this situation is the same. He's not open to children another way, so sadly your life goals no longer align. It's obviously devastating for you both, but if you stay, you will resent him and probably leave later in life, without an easy path to children then. NTA, and I'm so sorry for you. Comment. 2. Just hopping on this top. Comment. To ask, are you really, really sure he didn't have a vasectomy and has been lying to you this whole time? Asking you to wait a year before seeking out testing, refusing to explore further options for himself, and flat refusing even familial sperm donation or adoption just feels suspicious. Or I've been spending too much time on Reddit. That's possible. OP, I never even considered him getting a vasectomy a possibility. Isn't that something he would need to recover from? I never noticed any signs or discomfort. He also really wanted to have kids. We've spoken extensively. I don't think so. Comment. 3. He refuses to adopt, refuses to look into donor sperm, refuses to try any medical intervention. He refuses to even talk about it. It's not about him being infertile, it's about him being completely unwilling to understand your feelings, much less try to find a compromise to save your marriage. Comment. 4. First off, infertility is a hell of a curveball, and it's clear you're not divorcing him because he's infertile, but because he's essentially slammed the door on all options. That's a big difference. It's not that you're punishing him for something he can't control. You're drawing a line because he's refusing to control what he can. You've got dreams, and he's ghosting them harder than Reddit hides good posts. If he's not willing to roll up his sleeves and fight for your future family, you're not the asshole for wanting to find someone who will. It's time to ask yourself if you should sacrifice your happiness for someone who won't even try. Comment. 5. Okay, so I can understand some initial reluctance towards adoption or donors. Not getting to have the life he originally wanted had to have been a blow, even though I think he should at least be willing to consider it at this point 9 months later. But refusing to try the surgery because it's too much prep is honestly bizarre. Like, everything he wants is potentially, even if unlikely, in reach, and he's throwing it away because he doesn't want to take cold showers and eat vitamins? Like, something is wrong with that. It literally makes no sense. Honestly, I'd think twice about staying married to someone who is willing to throw away both of your life goals over something that, small kids aside. Update. May 19th, 2025, 8 months later. Hello, everyone. I posted this last year and received so much amazing feedback that genuinely changed my life. Since no one in my personal knew what was going on, being able to talk about it and get so much amazing advice was great. A lot of the people in the comment so opened my eyes up to the possibility that he was refusing the surgery, since that would be the final nail in the coffin. That if it failed, that would be the end, and that could be the reason he was refusing to do anything. I took some time after posting that to do some self-reflection on the whole scenario and to go out the situation differently. We spoke about it extensively, and I told him about how I completely understand his fears in not wanting to do the surgery, but I really want us to try a fertility therapist, and we could just do one session. It didn't have to be a deep commitment. He agreed, and that therapy session went amazing. We both spoke separately and then together, and we did 5 sessions overall. You guys were right. My husband was scared to try anything because he didn't want it to fail. He was pre-rejecting the rejection. He opened up to me about a lot of fears and anxiety about his diagnosis. We deeply connected afterwards and got even closer as a couple. One day I saw vitamins on his dresser and realized he had been taking them without even telling me. I was so happy. We did another sperm analysis and they saw 2 sperm. We were so happy. Then, to my complete and utter surprise, my husband forwards me an email. He scheduled a consultation for the micro-teeth surgery in December. It went well, and he was approved for surgery this February. We went in with low expectations and to still be happy at the progress he's made, but they were able to get 3 sperm. My husband and I were ecstatic and couldn't stop crying. Everything went well at his 2-week checkup. Now we're in the process of IVF. I started taking medication to do my egg retrieval right after his surgery, and so far I have 12 eggs. Last month we just found out we have 2 embryos. Both healthy, 1 boy and 1 girl. Our implantation date for our daughter was May 1st, and I tested positive a few days ago. We are so happy. I am so happy that we were able to get through this bump in the road. This has been amazing. I am so happy my husband's fear and my sadness to his fear was something we were able to get over. We have both extensively apologized to each other, him for shutting down and wanting to give up, and me for not being more understanding to that life-changing news. Thank you guys again for all the advice you gave me. Top comment S. Comment 1. This is the best. Update. So happy for you both. Comment 2. Congratulations to hopefully soon the 3 of you smiley face. Comment 3. Communication for the win. Congratulations on saving your marriage and your dreams for your family. Comment 4. Amazing. So happy that therapy helped you two communicate and get closer. Congrats and best wishes for a smooth pregnancy.
Story 4. AITA for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup. I, 32 years old female, was married to Cam, 34 years old male, for 6 years and together for 16 years in total, and we also share a daughter, Mia, 4F. A bit of background, I was ASM and he worked, but I noticed he was coming home late. He started getting angry a lot, also always on his phone, and to mention I had caught him looking at this girl's Instagram story before, but I didn't think anything of it. Shortly after that, I found out he was cheating on me with Sky, now 19 years old female. Yeah, barely legal. When I found out, obviously I was hurt, but I was also completely disgusted that he was cheating and willing to ruin our family for her. I became a Sachem when my daughter was born, and we made an agreement that he was in charge of our money and he would just give me his card to use if I needed to buy anything. I wasn't making any income except for the money I had before having our daughter, which I kept in my bank account, and I saved it for emergencies. I felt stuck because I didn't know what to do, and for my daughter's sake, I didn't end up leaving up. I had got suspicious, and I went to look for the girl through his followings on Facebook and Instagram. I ended up finding the girl's story. He was looking up Instagram, and I just made an assumption that it might have been her, and I shot her a DM. Long story short, she was rude as hell. She had zero remorse and kept on telling me to bother my husband who cheated instead of bothering her. She was aware he had a wife and family but didn't care, and even told me that he was paying her tuition. I ended up getting mad and telling her to stay away from my husband, but she just told me she would keep going, and it was just fun. After that, I guess she told my husband, and I think he realized that I wasn't leaving. He literally would leave his location on, even when he went to her college campus, which really pissed me off, because I couldn't see how he was really ruining all we had for some girl who isn't even serious about him, and also not even fucking legal to drink yet. Our daughter Mia attends ballet, and they had a performance. This is what really was my breaking point, because our child should always come first. He was out all night long that Friday, and on Saturday was the recital, and obviously he needed to be there for Mia's first recital. I gave him until 11 p.m., then I finally called him, and guess who picked up the phone? Sky. She told me that he was busy and then hung up, and that was my breaking point. I quickly packed some of mine and Mia's stuff up, and I woke her up so we could go to my mom's house, who didn't live far. So we ended up crashing the night there, as I didn't want him to come back home to us, nor did I want to see him when I woke up. That was a year ago. Now we're divorced, and I have full custody of Mia while he has visitation rights. I got a job, saved up, and now in an apartment, and while it's not the best, it's good for me and Mia for the time being. Anyways, after the divorce, they ended up getting together for a couple of months. While they were together, he was visiting Mia, but not as often. I'd say like twice a month. To nobody's surprise, she ended up leaving him after a couple of months, but this is where I may be the asshole. Ever since they've broken up, he's been depressed. He drinks a lot, he doesn't eat much, he's always sulking on the couch, and just not himself. He comes over more often to see Mia, which is why I know this, and I feel away. He's all depressed because she left, but didn't have this energy when we divorced after being together for 16 years. When we divorced, he didn't seem to care at all. He was just nonchalant about it and kept messing around with Sky, but now that this girl you were barely with left you, you're depressed. I know he's going through it, but I can't help but feel a certain way about this. AITA, for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup. This was in my notes first as I was debating to post this here or not, since my friend recommended it. It's my first time ever posting, or even on Reddit. I just needed somewhere to vent to and advice. AITAH has no consensus spot. OOP received mixed reactions. Relevant.
Comment. S. Comment. 1. YTA for staying with him as long as you did and letting him abuse both you and your child like that. You did the right thing by leaving, but you should have never stayed after the first incident. OOP. Yeah, I know. I look back and was disappointed in myself for even letting him do that to me and my baby. I'm also disappointed myself by this right now. I don't want to feel bad for him and I wanted him to suffer. It just sucks because I was with him for 16 years and he cared more about this other girl than me. Comment. 2. YTA because, judging by how you were in the marriage, you're probably going to take him back. OP. I'm not taking him back. It just hurts to see somebody that you were with for so long not give a shit about you. But I also do feel bad because he's obviously not doing well. Comment. 3. When he broke up with you, he had a new GF in the picture. When she broke up with him, he realized what he threw away. Comment. 4. Yeah, exactly. He just realized he was being used as an ATM. He thought he was a catch. It really bruised his ego. OP, the dumbass, literally offered to pay her tuition. When the divorce happened, which was a year ago, Sky was 18. I have no idea when the affair started, and I'm hoping it just started at 18. But the girl was obviously not giving a shit about him, as she was still messing with boys from her campus. His words as he would come home throwing a fit about it. I think that's why he offered it to keep her. Comment. 5. Stoppin' TA, you deserve better. Your ex's plan B is you. He needs, he wants, honestly. Why do you give a F about him? He needs to grow up and be there for his daughter. Mia deserves a better too. That chick deserves to be ignored by all other women for her attitude in sleeping with your now ex. Stop sleeping with him, because it's only fueling his belief you're okay being his backup. And get an STD test. OP, I'm not sleeping with him and I got a test back when I first found out. I'm all good. I'm not getting back with him, I'm just upset that he didn't show this much care for me. Update. Number 1. April 23rd, 2025. Same day, 17 hours later, Minnie. Update. AITA for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup? I'm so overwhelmed right now I didn't expect this to escalate so quickly, but it did. Firstly, I want to thank everybody who gave me advice. I really appreciate it all. I'm sorry if I took long to reply to. Comment. S. I had a busy morning, especially with a 4-year-old who attends preschool and also hates getting up in the morning. A bit of background about their relationship, at least the stuff I know. The divorce happened last year, so at the time Sky was 18. I clarified this in the comment. But I'm going to say it again. Cam was the one who offered Sky to pay her tuition, and I think he did that to keep her around. After I found out about the divorce, he would come home angry. He would call her names and was mad because she was seeing other guys in college and posting herself going to parties. I don't know how long their affair was. All I know is how they met, at least this is what he told me. Cam told me that they met at a club and he thought Sky was older, but then she later told him it was a fake ID. Now, I don't believe he thought that one bit. Sky screams teenager. I could tell by just one peek at her Instagram. She looks super young. She dresses like a teenager. She has braces with a very youthful, and she types/acts just like her age. Cam has visitation rights, and he comes over to see Mia, which I am gonna make arrangements to change that. When he comes over, you could just feel the negative energy coming in with him by his attitude and the way he looks. While Mia is occupied, that's when he vents to me about Sky, which I don't know why the hell he does. I will admit I'm stupid as I don't say anything, I just let him talk. I pretty much ignore him when he's here like he doesn't exist while he would just vent randomly. But let me tell you guys what just happened and I'm literally so pissed. My baby gets out of preschool at 2:30. Usually my mom would pick her up, but I gotta leave early. And her ballet practice is at 4 p.m. While during the ballet practice, you could either leave your kid there or you can stay in the practice with them. One of my closet girlfriend's daughter also attends the class, and I needed to get groceries for our meals. So with her permission, I left out for a bit. My guess is that Cam gave Sky my number because I genuinely don't see how else she could get it. Anyways, long story short, she has read it and she came across my post and was pissed about it. Guys, no joke, this little girl and her friends was spamming my phone with calls. She would call me and say horrible things, and then next I would get another call from somebody else who would say other stuff that's happened about 7 times. The 2 first times, admittedly, I went back and forth, but as it kept going, I finally got the hint they were playing with my phone, so I started recording and just let them yell and insult. I knew they were all together because when Sky called first, I could hear other girls giggling or saying slick shit in the background. I didn't get the whole thing on recording because it came out of the blue, so I only got the last few. If I was to file a harassment report about this, would it be valid or not? I blocked them and threatened to call the cops the last time, and they stopped. But seriously, this is childish ASF. Edit. Forgot to mention that this isn't real names, it's just close to all of our names and all of our correct ages, so I think that's how she figured it was me. Relevant. Comment. S. Comment. 1. File harassment charges absolutely. Also send all of the information about the affair and all of the recordings of her calls to you to her mommy and daddy. OP. One of my girlfriends is super good at finding people through social media, so I'll definitely send her to look for Sky's parents. Comment. 1. If Sky has a FB account, her parents can probably be found on her friends list. OP. She doesn't. At least I don't think she does. I looked through Cam's following on Instagram and Facebook before the divorce, and I only found her on Instagram. OOP should go to the police for harassment. OOP. Def taking her to the police and gonna hopefully try and see if I could find her parents. Oh. I'd love to message her that, but she's the type to go back and forth. She literally just hurls insults. As I mentioned, she's 19, and she sure does act like it. OOP clarifies on custody and the affair. OOP, I have full custody, and he has visitation rights. I don't know when the affair started, but all I know is that when I found out, she was 18, and hopefully it didn't start when she was a minor. Update. Number 2, May 7th, 2025, 2 weeks later. Hi everybody, I posted on here 2 weeks ago about my situation with my ex-husband. I also posted about how Sky and her friends called my phone repeatedly. Firstly, I do want to say thank you to everybody who gave me ideas of what to do about the situation, and I especially want to thank the people who messaged me privately to help me get over this. Haha. I also, unfortunately, had pervs in my messages, and no, my daughter doesn't need a stepdad. On to the update. I ended up emailing Sky's school about the harassment, as I mentioned in the mini update. Sky has read it, so she took the college she attended out her Instagram bio, which she originally had. Sky, I know you're probably reading this, and unfortunately for you, dumbass, I didn't forget the school you attend. I emailed them about a day after my mini update, along with photos of my call log, and they finally got back to me this past Monday. They didn't exactly tell me what they did, but to summarize it, they basically told me that they would take care of her and thanked me for it. Obviously, Sky learned her lesson as she didn't contact me at all. Unfortunately, me or my girlfriend couldn't find her parents. She doesn't have a Facebook, only Instagram. She doesn't have much photos up, but the ones she does up doesn't have anything of her family, just herself. On to my ex. Soon after my post, I called him and I set boundaries. I told him if he wanted to see Mia, then it was to be done at his home or anywhere but my house. I told him that when it was time for him to come and get Mia, that I would just walk her to the car and that he has no permission to come inside my home. He didn't take it lightly. He fussed that he was allowed to go into the home that his daughter is in. I told him that there's no need for him to do that because if he wants to see her, and only her, then me bringing her to the car wouldn't be a problem. After a while of fussing, he did accept it eventually. Unfortunately, I was stupid, and I decided to try and pry my way into knowing a bit more about their past relationship and the affair. I don't believe that Sky told Cam about the post or anything, as I think he would have been mad, or at least brought it up. Cam opened up a little bit and told me a bit more about their whole relationship. He told me that at first, him and Sky were originally just hooking up. Before anything happened, Sky let him know that she didn't want a relationship as she wanted to live the college experience, and Cam didn't take it seriously. Eventually, she started talking to other guys, and he would also see her following go up with other guys in it whenever she said she would go to an event. He tells me that he started paying Sky's because Sky said if he didn't, then she would expose him. I'm not sure what he means by exposed, as he couldn't be talking about expose him to me because he didn't even seem to give a fuck when he got caught. But Sky had told me that he's the one who offered to pay the tuition, so I don't know which one is telling the truth. He told me that he loved Sky but couldn't love her any longer because she was a gold-digging whore. Even more confused because Sky literally broke up with him. He also said that Sky didn't listen, and that she deserved everything he did to her because there's no reason she should be avoiding him. Mind you, I'm confused as hell. At first, it seemed like he was trying to play victim, but immediately got off topic and really was just raging about Sky. I'm baffled because you were literally just crying over this girl? I ended up questioning him because it literally didn't make sense. He ended up yelling at me, telling me to shut the F up and other shit. Eventually, I just hung up the phone because I don't have time for that. Like a child, he blocked me. I ended up just talking to his mom. I asked if during Cam's time, if I could just drop Mia off at her house, and if Cam wants to see Mia, then he could visit. She's an amazing grandmother, so she accepted. I told her that he blocked me, which she was shocked, and told me that she would talk to him about it. But that's the update. Currently, hopefully Cam gets help because obviously the nut job needs it. I recently started working out and I even joined a dating app this past Saturday like some people requested I did, and good news! I matched with a ton of people. I will also share that I have been a bit down just thinking about my baby girl. I feel like I did wrong picking Cam as her father. I didn't have a good father growing up, so all I wanted was for my kids to have the dad I never had, and at first Cam was amazing, but now I don't know what's happening. I think it's a midlife crisis, maybe? Sorry for this long post. Thank you to everybody who helped me. Relevant/top. Comment. Seer. Comment. 1. I'm so glad you made all those positive changes. And I wouldn't get his mom to get him to unblock you. Stay blocked. Good riddance. No more whining to you over the phone. Besides, he'll unblock you in a hurry to yell at you once he learns you're dating. I'm so looking forward to that. Maybe you can just happen to mention that info to his mom when you drop Mia off. OP, I'm actually hoping me and him could communicate through his mom, at least for right now. I really don't want to talk to that man. Comment. 2. Sky is a dirty little skank, but I have no doubt when they started she was underage, so the OP's husband is grooming creep, and you are better off or without him. I'd even try and get full custody of your daughter, and keep this dirty creep away from OP and Mia. OP. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm starting to have that feeling too. At first I didn't want to believe it because who would, but it's like every time I asked, or when he's getting to it, like when he told me how they met, he dodges it. Comment. 3. Trust your gut and keep him off of your couch. If he needs therapy, see a therapist. If he needs absolution, go to church and pray. You have given him too many years of your life already. Keep dropping your daughter at her grandmother's and try to do so before he shows up so you don't have to run into him. You need space away from anything dealing with his mess to heal, and he will never give it to you. Next time he tries to bring it up, point blank say, I don't want to hear any more about the misadventures of a grown-ass man with an underage girl. If whatever you have to say is not pertaining to Mia, keep it to yourself. Honestly, I would go as far as saying that I am considering his visitation being supervised only since he is into younger girls. He needs to realize that the money that he spent on that girl, he took directly his daughter. Yeah, more money can be made, but Mia's college fund could have been started with what he wasted. Sounds harsh, but maybe he needs a verbal slap to the face to see how disgusting and pathetic he